There's a perfectly good reason why 99% of men will never get into top 1% shape, and it's got nothing to do with finding the optimal training plan or the diet. No, it's because most men are simply emotional little fannies. Seems they've got higher estrogen than most feminists these days, and it's time that comes to an end. So if you are the type of man who has his morning alarm go off and you decide if you're going to get up or snooze based on how you feel in the moment, then you are being an emotional little fanny. If you randomly binge on junk food at 10 p.m, you don't even register it, but you still tell everyone, yeah, I eat super clean, then you are being an emotional little fanny. If you give up on a fat loss phase because it's too hard, I'm hungry, I'm looking flat and skinny, so I need to bulk up more anyway, you are being what exactly? Yeah, that's right, you guessed it, an emotional little fanny. Your feelings are literally just a physical sensation in your body. They rise and they fall. Every mental state is temporary. If you make your decisions based on these fluctuations, you will never, ever build a rare physique that stands out. Because you're operating like an average man, you will look like an average man. Is this something you want? No? Well, you're in the right place, my brother.
And trust me, bro, I get it. I've also been an emotional little fanny as well. Because of the way I was raised, my father not really creating an emotionally stable environment in my household. 1 second he was screaming at my mum and us, just being vile and repulsive with his temper, breaking plates, just being abusive. And then the next moment, trying to overcorrect and be overly sweet. Oh, who's my good little boy? Not that I'm resentful towards him about that anymore. We're on actually very good terms. We have an amazing relationship now. But just because of the way I was raised in that environment, it taught me to live in a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And it taught me that safety is in the chaos. And so I've always been a very chaotic motherfucker. Like I say, I don't blame my dad. It's not his responsibility. You know, I'm a grown fucking adult. I need to take control myself. But just to give a few examples about how this emotional chaos manifested in my life, I broke up with a girl, the only girl I've properly loved, who's also loved me back, because I felt like an inferior little cuck. Because after we started dating, I began to fall off. I very quickly stopped doing the things that made her attracted to me in the first place. I stopped being disciplined, waking up early, eating clean. I became a bit of a slave to her, and I could feel her losing attraction for me every single time we met. And to be honest with you, I was terrified. I was terrified that she was going to leave me for my best friend who I was living with at the time, because he was just like a superior man to me in almost every way, or so I felt at the time, and I could sense the attraction in her eyes every time we all met together. It was a really weird, strange time, and slowly but surely, I decided that, yeah, she doesn't deserve me. I'm way too much of a little low-life loser. I'm gonna leave her before she dumps me. And to be honest with you, we were just not aligned on the same path. She wanted marriage, kids, all of that very soon, and I knew that I wasn't even close to becoming that man yet. And so I left her. I was very, very upset about it. Cried like a fucking baby. Definitely was very in my feelings for the next few weeks afterwards, just going through insane lows. And I was driving with this friend who I was jealous of, who I was living with at one point, and we were talking about it, talking about feelings and shit. And I was telling him that, you know, sometimes when I think about her, I get very, very upset. And he was like, why? Because he had his share of ladies who came and went, And after each one, he was just like, yeah, calm, moved on, because this was a man with a purpose, with a mission greater than himself. And he told me something at the time that really stuck with me. It made me feel even more inferior, made me feel even more like a little cuck compared to him, where he was like, yeah, I'm a man, I can control my emotions. And I was like, what? How? How? It feels as though I'm at the complete mercy of my emotions, as though I have absolutely no say in the matter. And I know that this video is meant to be talking about how this emotional state affects your physique, but your physique is just the outer manifestation of what's going on in your mind. And so I decided, let's go a little deeper, right? Because this shit, it doesn't only just apply to bodybuilding, getting an elite specimen of a physique, but also into how you operate in your day-to-day life. It's unacceptable to be emotionally volatile, at the mercy to your feelings. No, like my friend told me, no, if you're a man, you need to be in control of these things. In my physique transformation journey, in my career of lifting, you could say, my emotional little tendencies manifested in several ways. At first, when I made the decision to take it seriously and finally get big and strong, I got into the mindset of chasing numbers, being this PR bro, just coming in every session and trying to up the weight, up the reps. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Overall, I made very little progress at the time, because every session that I didn't hit a PR, I would lose my shit. The entire rest of the session was ruined, and subsequent sessions were then changed based on this feedback from just one set, one event. So I would keep flip-flopping around, changing my program every couple weeks, swapping out exercises entirely, just because I was at the utter mercy of my emotions. Couple years after that point, by the way, actually, during this phase, I had been conditioned that the best way to get big is to get strong, just raise the numbers on all of your lifts. And while that is true, it also matters how you execute those lifts. It matters in what contexts are those numbers improving. If you're just coming in and chasing numbers, trying to add weight just for the sake of adding weight and slopping up the technique, then that's not really going to do much, is it? But this emotional volatility, this tendency of being a little fanny, it showed up a couple years later again, when I had fully made the switch to stop chasing numbers and just attract the numbers, let them come as they come. But my main goal was physique related. However, because I hadn't fixed this emotional instability, it was all over the place. When I saw myself under certain lighting conditions, I'd think, fuck, I look disgusting, I'm a sloppy mess, I need to cut immediately. And then under different lighting, later that day, I would say, fuck, no, I'm way too skinny, I don't even have enough muscle left to cut, and I don't look that bad, I'm kind of lean, there would be no point in cutting, no, I need to bulk. And so I would make this flip-flop damn near 8 to 10 times every single day. Should I cut or bulk? And I never committed and made a decision and followed through. And so it was just this endless cycle of emotions, changing my plan, me making a new decision and then not even sticking with that decision. I would switch exercises every few weeks just because I would get insane analysis paralysis in the middle of my sessions, right? My sessions took twice as long as they needed to, because between every exercise I was thinking, oh, what should I do next? Oh, this guy said this is more optimal, and this guy said this is better for muscle growth. Oh, should I do calisthenics or dumbbells or barbells or machines? Oh, it was all over the place because I didn't have any kind of emotional control. I let my emotions control me, which is absolutely disgusting. It's pathetic. So, how? How can you actually take control? How do you stop being at the utter mercy of your emotions? Because that's the question I was always asking myself. I knew that that was a problem, but I actually had no idea how to fix it. Well, the first things first, you have to learn to step back. You have to learn how to pause. When you're going through your day and your thoughts start racing away on you, the moment when you notice this is critical, because at the start of this awareness, you are then able to choose how you respond. And once you set up a daily meditation practice where for 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, every single day, you set a timer and you just focus on your breath. You let your thoughts come and go and you don't attach to them. You step back and you just watch them, which I know is very, very hard to do, especially when you begin, when your mind is a scrambled mess. When you set up this practice, this is when you start to learn how to pause throughout your day, and you make the decision, do I want to let this affect me? And oftentimes the answer is no. Does this emotion serve me? No. Emotions are not real in the sense that they are literally just a physical sensation in your body, which can feel very real, but again, it's just a feeling. It's just fucking electrical impulses going through your circuitry, which basically everything can be broken down to. But anyway, there's this technique called letting go in a book I read by a professor called David Hawkins. And essentially, the best technique to deal with emotions is not to try and fight them. It's just to literally feel the physical sensations. Don't try to attach thoughts to them. Don't try to label them with words. You just sit with them. You let them flow through you. And then you notice them pass. You don't respond to them. You accept them, and as you accept them, you notice they fade away. It's a very, very revolutionary, life-changing approach to dealing with your emotions, because you stop being at the mercy of them and you're able to just execute without being attached to how you feel in the process. You must callous the mind. It's very helpful to learn how to view your emotions, but it's also a very useful tactic to switch your approach to pain. Once you fall in love with negative feelings and you allow yourself to sit with them and not just tolerate them, but actually embrace them and enjoy them and feel them cleansing you, you're going to operate on a whole new level. And I'm still learning how to do this. I've by no means mastered it. I'm only reporting what I'm learning and how I'm dealing with it in real time. So every time my 4 a.m. alarm goes off, I have to rise. There's no questioning it. There's no debating. There's no negotiating. But some days it feels disgusting. Other days it's easy. Boom, out of bed, I spring out excited. But other times it genuinely feels like the world is crumbling around me, like I'm going to die of exhaustion if I don't go back to sleep. But every single time I notice these feelings, I choose how to respond to them and I rise anyway. And every single time I do so, I have to make the mindset switch. If this is hard, it's good, actually, because it means that I'm actually building the character of the man I want to become, who doesn't become at the utter mercy of his feelings and just executes on the plan regardless. It's very important not to take your emotions seriously. You have to learn how to laugh it off. Realize you're being stupid. Again, this pausing technique, not getting swept away in the currents of your thoughts, but just learning how to pause, take a step back, observe yourself, and laugh at how ridiculous you're being. Like, are you really going to let this completely nonsensical, insignificant, tiny shit ruin your mood? You're going to let it ruin your day? Man, the way most of the world is operating, they're like this. They let the tiniest inconveniences get them into a negative spiral, which only creates more and more damage. And that's why everyone is fucking in debt, disgusting physiques. Yeah, they're going for a cute little morning run, but then they're still skinny fat, right? It's absurd, and it makes me laugh, but it also makes me a little sad. Because the other day I was driving around, and I pulled off a questionable maneuver, you could say. I reversed back out. I did it slowly, but I reversed into a road, like a main road, because there was simply no other way for me to get out. And the guy behind me, he lost his shit at me. He honked his horn, he started shouting at me. This was some Jamaican looking guy with dreads, and I could tell he was like a little bit of a gangster type archetype. And he was like, he was pointing at me, he was shouting, he was like, "Who the fuck do you think you are, you stupid?" And I just laughed a bit, and this pissed him off even more. He was like, I will remember you next time I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up. Well, cool, bro. If you want to do that, be my guest. He drove off in a stinking mood, and I could tell that this set him on a negative spiral and ruined his day. This tiny little minor inconvenience of me reversing into the road. He didn't even like have to brake suddenly or anything. It wasn't like out of the blue alarming. It was just me pulling off a questionable maneuver, which really pissed him off. And I couldn't help but think, man, are you really going to let this dictate your entire mood? And I thought it was hilarious, but I was also a little sad for him, because I was like, this man clearly doesn't have much control over his life. So ask yourself who you want to be. Make a violently clear North Star vision of the man you want to become, what kind of life he's built, and how he operates through his day. How emotionally stable is this guy? And then every single time you're faced with a decision, just think, what would that guy do? How would he respond to this circumstance? Be grateful for every single chance you get to build this character. Every time you get an inconvenience, every time shit doesn't go your way or it's harder than you expected, smile. Be grateful that it's this difficult, because this is the ultimate test to determine if you are actually becoming this guy. And in the process, set yourself a daily meditation. Practice letting go, observing your emotions and just letting them pass. Detach from your thoughts. Learn how to pause in your day-to-day life and choose how to respond. It's very simple. It's very simple, but it's not easy. because it's not just about knowing what to do, it's about reminding yourself and actually doing it. Set yourself an alarm every single morning to rise. Just incorporate it into your morning routine. That's genuinely the easiest way to make something a consistent habit. Wake up at the same time every single day and do it as part of a morning routine. Easy, simple. Just fucking click your fingers, make it happen, bro. I hope that you gained something from this. If you did, comment, tell me if I'm an idiot, if I'm a misguided fool, or tell me what else you're struggling with. Maybe I can help you out. Let's go, man. Hope you have an amazing day.